Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with another video, and this time I'm going to be talking about Docker commands. And if you're interested in like DevOps, databases, or AWS careers and need some support, uh, you can reach out to me. I don't have all the answers, but if you need some sort of sounding board, we can brainstorm some ideas together. Just reach out to me, and we'll let's talk, and then it might lead to you might figure something out. So just put in your contact information in the Google Forms, and I'll schedule a call with you. So before we jump into Docker commands, I just if you haven't seen my a video that I made before on installation. I showed actually how to install Docker on Ubuntu, and if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. And because you need to install Docker to be able to practice, these commands. So you can do it in many ways. So one is actually you can just install Docker Desktop, and that is available on this website, and I think it's available for both Mac and Windows. I do it on my Mac. And then you can create a Linux VM, and you can just if you make sure the VM has access to the internet, then you can just do a yum install on Ubuntu. Like I said, I made a video. You can go and watch that. If you want to just follow Docker documentation, that's fine as well. Just follow this link, and they have like very clear instructions on how to install. So let's actually get started with the very basic Docker commands. So I actually have a Linux machine, and I just started it. So I'm going to actually just SSH into it, and it's just Amazon Linux. And so let me just SSH into it. Okay, so I'm in there. So I want to switch to root. Clear. So I'm on my Linux machine. So, and I have already installed Docker on it. So you can like check that in a couple of ways. So I usually just like to check if the process is up. So I'm sorry, Docker D, that's the process we're looking for, and we don't want the grep process to confuse us. So let's actually exclude that. So the Docker is not running actually, right? So you can start it using the systemctl command, which is systemctl start Docker. So now I believe it's started. So let's check the status. So it says it's active and running, and it shows a few things. So we are good. Now let's just check the version of Docker. So we can say Docker. So we used to be able to do -v. I think yeah. So that's still available, or you can use -- version. So both are the same. So that's Docker version 19.03 right? And if you want to see what kind of commands or what commands are available, what commands can you run, you can just do a Docker help. So that's all the commands that you can do, and there's a lot. Let's not get overwhelmed. So we can just do that, and let's actually keep going. So those are just two simple commands that you can start with. Okay, and we actually checked whether Docker is running. And if you can also check the status using the systemctl command. And we started Docker using systemctl command. And I believe like this works on Linux, and this works on Linux for sure because that's what I'm using. But on Ubuntu, it might be a little bit different. You have to use service start, service stop, that kind of thing. I'll let you figure out that part. So let's actually jump to Docker images. So, and if you don't remember what Docker images are, they're basically uh, a set of instructions for creating containers. So let's see how we can use some of the images that are available for us. So we have the basic command to show what kind of images are available or what images have been downloaded already to your uh, local workspace or local repository. So when I do Docker images, I see one image which is Python, and this is the tag actually, and it's got image ID, and then when it was created, and the size of the image. So let's say I want to delete this image. I can do RMI and Python. So I'm supposed to do like this. So you can use image ID or you can use the tag. So let's use the image ID. So that's how you do it. And okay, so now there's nothing on my system. So if I do images again, it comes up with nothing. Okay, so now how do I look for the images that are available? So you just go to hub.docker.com. You can create your account and you can create your own repository like this. I have some repository, or you can explore the public registry, right? So these are all some images that are available, and I was actually working with Python, right? Python image. So let's look at that. So if you want the complete Python image, you can just use this. So the ones that I wanted to pull, or I was using before, was the slim image. Let's just download this 3.8 dash slim. So how do you do that? So you can actually click the tag, and then that might actually give you the commands, or you can just go to your machine and then just type docker pull python colon and 3.8 dash slim. That's the tag that we saw there. And then we do that, and then provided your machine has access to internet, it can download the image like that. So again, if you do Docker images, it shows the images that are available on the local machine. And so let's look at the next one. Okay, let's work with containers, right? So because that's the core thing. Containers are where your application is going to be running. So first of all, to check whether we have any containers running, we need to do docker ps -a, and this -a is required to show all the containers, not just the ones that are running. So this -a will show if a container was created but it was later stopped actually, right? So that's why you need ps-a, right? So if you just do ps, it will show the ones that are running. But anyway, so in our case, both are returning nothing because we haven't created any containers. And then let's actually start creating some containers. So let's actually do a docker run, and then minus I is interactive mode, T is a terminal. I want it on the terminal, and I can do a D. uh, D is actually a detach, like once you create the container, detach from it, right? So I don't want to detach from the container that I'm creating. I want to attach to it, and then I want to do something in the container. So, and then I want to use the Python, or so I want to use the image, right? So let's say I can just do Python slim, right? So this is, let's try this. So it might fail, it's okay. It actually worked. So this run command actually created the image, I'm sorry, created the container using this image, the one that we just downloaded. And then you have a Python prompt now. So now you can just like test it by running some Python commands. So let's go with the very basic hello world. That is working as expected. Can we just check actually again, if any containers are running? So containers are, so the one that we just created and we attached to it and we ran some commands, but then it's not running because when I exited, the container was stopped automatically. So now I do a ps minus a, and you see basically the container ID, and then the image that was used, and then what command ran, because as soon as the container is created, this Python 3 command runs, and then that's where we got the Python prompt actually. So how now that the container is available but it is just stopped, you want to start the container, you can just do a docker start, and you can use the name. This is a random arbitrary name that was uh, created automatically. So you can either use the name or the ID to basically start the container. So now the container is started. Now let's see if ps command shows the container. So it has started. So otherwise it wouldn't be showing here. Now if I want to attach to this container, I can do a docker attach and the container ID. So I'm not sure if you can see it, so let me clear up the space. Docker attach and then the container ID. So yeah, so now we are in the container and we can keep doing that. So let's say a equals 1, b equals 2, a plus b equals 3. So that's another Python, a few Python variables and commands exited from the container now. Now let's keep going. So what else is there in my slide? So I wanted to show the rm command, which is for removing a container. Let's go back to my terminal. So now the container is not running. So now let's go ahead and do rm. The container ID is probably going to be the same. So let's try that. And it's removed. And if I do a ps, there's nothing, and we know that the container is not running. Minus a, there's nothing, all good. So container has been removed, but we still have the image that we downloaded in the beginning. So that's the Python image, and we already saw how to remove an image. So we'll just use the image ID. That's that. So those are some basic Docker commands. Obviously these commands are not, you're not going to run them manually in a professional workplace. Some of these commands you might, but things work differently. But then these are the basics, and you can start here. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And as usual, thank you for watching my video and subscribe. Please like, share, and comment. And I'll see you in my next video.